And we're rolling.
Hey Gavin and Ryder, it was a lot of fun training with you today. I had a great time and I look forward to training with you guys again in the future. And I just wanted to quickly go over all of the stuff that we learned today so that you can practice before we get together again next week. So the first thing that we did is we learned the basic position of a butterfly guard. And my elbows are inside my knees and I'm nice and athletic here. And we learned a seated shrimp. So we're going to take one of our hands and we're going to put it behind us just outside our hip. And we're going to lift our hips up off the mat and move them to the side and reset. And we're going to do it again the other way, just like this. And you guys had talked about this maybe hurting your bottom because you were raising your hips up so far high in the air and then dropping down and landing heavy on your bottom.
Just like Auntie Christy does.
Don't lift your hips so high. Just scoot when you lift them up, and you can move that way, okay? The next thing we learned was to come up to combat base from butterfly guard. So we took the same motion, right? We took our hand and we put it behind our hip to the side. We tuck our foot underneath us, and we use our hand to push and our other foot that's out in front to pull us up into a good combat base. Right over the top of our knee, hands up, ready to protect ourselves, okay? We go back, and we try it the other way. And we did this a few times. And you guys did really good. It's important to tuck the same leg as the hand that we've planted, okay? So I plant this hand, tuck, and I pull myself up, okay? The next thing we learned was the sit through. So I'm gonna, from the side like this, we're up like we're doing a bear crawl, okay? We're gonna step through and we're gonna sit. We're gonna step through with a foot. We're gonna lift the opposite hand up and we're gonna sit through, okay? And we can go back and do it the other way. Just like this. Now look, from here, look at my toes. I'm gonna step my foot. I don't have to lift it up too high, but I'm gonna pivot my toes out like this to make it easy for my hip to come through. Okay? I don't want to be in my own way, so I move my foot so that I can open my knee and step through. It's really important that you can open your knee to let your hips come through. If you keep your knee closed, your hips can't come through. You block yourself. So you open that knee and let your hips come through. The next thing we learned was just a basic shrimp. So from butterfly guard, we go to our backs and over to a shoulder. Our feet come into our butts and our feet lift our hips up off the ground. We're on our shoulder and we can push our hips back to where our other shoulder used to be, okay? So my shoulder's here. Now I'm going to go the other way, right? I'm going to put my hips where this shoulder is. When I roll up onto this shoulder, it makes the space for my hips to get up there.
Let's show them the space from here.
So I come back, I'm on my shoulder, I bring my feet to my hips, to my butt, I lift my hips.
And see the space?
See how my hips aren't on the mat? And I let them go backward. And then I can bring them forward. And then the last thing we learned was shrimping and then using the momentum of the shrimp to bring our bottom leg through and come up to our knees. And this way, if we're on our back, this is a way that we can get to a better position, a more athletic fighting position without moving forward. We already learned how to move forward, right? By tucking and coming up and moving forward. This way, we're going to learn how to move back in a good defensive position. We're going to shrimp, and this bottom leg is going to come through, which means I have to plant my top leg to make the space to let my bottom leg come through and come up to my knees. Okay, and see how I moved away from you? So back, just like that. Another way to do it, the same thing, is just to add an extra step, okay? I'm going to shrimp. Now from here, if I don't have enough momentum to let my bottom foot come through, I can just step back with my top foot as far as I can and use that to pull my leg through, okay?
That was a big step back.
Big step back. Boom, step. Pull. So that's it. I had a great time training with you guys today, and I look forward to training with you again next week.
How many times would you like them to practice this each day?
5,000 times. Love you guys. Next time.